You know, in sports, we all love a good underdog story. But then there's the story of the Vegas Golden Knights. This is, hands down, the most successful launch of an expansion team in modern history. And it all kicked off with a prediction that, well, sounded absolutely insane at the time. Okay, get this. Before a single puck was ever dropped, before the team even had all its players, the majority owner Bill Foley just comes out and says this: playoffs in 3, cup in 6. I mean, most experts probably thought he was delusional. An expansion team built from the cast-offs of other franchises, competing for a championship in just 6 years? No way. And yet, look at this. This picture says everything. In their 6th season, they actually did it. They fulfilled that wild prophecy and hoisted the Stanley Cup. So that leaves us with one massive question. How? How on earth did a brand new hockey team in the middle of the desert pull off the impossible? To really understand the win, we have to go back to the very beginning, to the initial bet. And nope, I'm not talking about a casino bet. I'm talking about the bet on the city of Las Vegas itself. Let's be real, the whole idea of ice hockey in the desert sounded kind of nuts to a lot of people. Vegas is famous for a ton of things, right? But professional sports, especially a winter sport like hockey, not really one of them. This was the NHL's first expansion since the year 2000, and putting a team there was seen as a huge, huge gamble. And we're talking about a gamble backed by a jaw-dropping amount of money, $500 million. That was the expansion fee Bill Foley and his group had to pay just to get a seat at the table. $500 million before they even had a single player, a coach, or even a team name. Wild. So, once the league gave them the green light, the real work started. They had to build a team, and just as importantly, build a fan base from scratch. And as you're about to see, they moved at lightning speed. I mean, look how fast this all happened. Rumors start swirling in 2014. Then, in 2015, they do a season ticket drive that just explodes, shattering expectations and proving the city was hungry for a team. By June 2016, it's official. And by November, they have their name, the Vegas Golden Knights. The foundation was set, just like that. All right, now we get to the part of the story that just seems to defy all logic. Their very first season on the ice. It was a run so incredible, it still feels like it was ripped straight from a movie script. So, a quick refresher on why this was all so shocking. See, expansion teams are built through what's called an expansion draft. Essentially, every other team gets to protect their best players, and the new team picks from who's left. You're not getting superstars. You're getting role players, guys other teams are willing to part with. It's usually a recipe for a few really tough seasons. But this team of so-called secondary players, they completely embraced that identity. They became known as the Golden Misfits. It was perfect. A collection of athletes with a massive chip on their shoulder, all wanting to prove their old teams were dead wrong for letting them go. And oh boy, did they prove them wrong. Just look at this list. They didn't just have a good start. They had the best start in NHL history for an expansion team. They didn't just have a good season, they shattered records for wins and points, won their entire division, and then went all the way to the Stanley Cup final. It was completely unheard of. And this just shows you their resilience. Early in that miracle season, they got hit with a terrible string of injuries, forcing them to use four different goalies. A crisis like that would derail most veteran teams, let alone a brand new one. But for the Misfits, it was just another obstacle to overcome. And the result of all that resilience? 13 playoff wins in their very first postseason. That is the most ever for a team in their inaugural run. Now, while they didn't win the Cup that year, they had absolutely put the entire league on notice. So that first season proved they could compete. The next few years were all about proving it wasn't a fluke and continuing that relentless push towards that 6-year goal. Management stayed aggressive, adding key players like their future captain, Mark Stone, to build on that success. They were a top contender for 4 straight years, but the ultimate prize was always just out of reach, often ending in these gut-wrenching playoff losses. Then, in their 5th season, disaster struck. An injury-riddled year saw them miss the playoffs entirely. For the first time, it looked like the dream might be fading. But coming off that disappointment, they entered their 6th season with a new coach and a renewed focus. With the clock ticking on that prediction, this was it. This was the year of the prophecy. And they were just dominant. They marched through the playoffs, taking down opponent after opponent. They beat the Jets,
Then the high-powered Oilers got some revenge against the Stars and finally met the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup final. In 5 games, they defeated the Panthers to win their first Stanley Cup. And just like that, 6 years to the season, Bill Foley's impossible prediction had come true. The Misfits, the Gamblers, the Desert Dogs, they were champions.
And they did it by creating an identity that was pure Vegas. Their primary logo is this powerful Knights helmet, but check out that secondary logo. The star is a direct homage to the iconic Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign, weaving the team directly into the fabric of the city it represents. So what's the lasting impact? Well, they leveraged favorable expansion roles, built a powerful us-against-the-world culture, and deeply embedded themselves in the city's identity from day one. It all makes you wonder, has this Vegas model created a whole new blueprint for building a franchise from scratch? That's the question the entire sports world is asking now.